Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1267, written by Dangerous Radish, 8719. Navigating time bends on the I-5. Driving back north on the I-5, around 2007-ish, I lost many miles. Or maybe time skipped. I don't know. I passed a road sign for a town, X miles away. It was maybe 2:30 a.m. The miles were substantial, 39, 59, etc. Not 2 minutes later, I passed through the town. I did not fall asleep, I did not zone out. There was not enough time for me when I passed the marker sign. It still gives me chills. Also, I won't drive parts of I-5 at night anymore. Even before this, I'd get the worst feeling sometimes in more rural parts. I'd get that chills, nausea, terror feeling you get reading stories like this, but 10 times worse. I never understood it, but when I lost distance like that, I had that same feeling. Like things were just wrong. I've had shady and sketchy driving interactions. I once had an all-black car with no lights zoom past me at perhaps 170 miles per hour. Runner, I'd guess. But I never felt the way I did about those interactions. This one is different. Case file number 1267. Navigating the time bends on the I-5. Alright, so this time no fog was involved in this time skip, even though it was driving related too, which makes it more likely that aliens are involved. The only way to confirm would be looking at your gas tank meter before and after. It dropped notably from 50 plus miles of travel. If it didn't, then you'd know some kind of advanced craft moved you and your car forward. But it could also be a space-time portal. If it is aliens though, I wonder, do they conduct experiments on our technology too? Wonder if aliens care at all about our mechanical hardware. Kind of like how we'd study the spears and huts of indigenous tribes as a curiosity, and maybe to glean more about their culture. Maybe it's not just directly us that they care to analyze, but our stuff too. You learn a lot about people by what they build and what they care about. Case file number 1268, written by edsuom. One act of kindness can ripple through time. I was driving down the freeway in a big city after work, and my car stalled in the left lane. Some guy immediately came up and offered to tow me to the next off-ramp with a tow strap. He dropped me off, and I tried giving him some money. He declined, telling me to instead do something nice for someone else. A week later, there was a rare downpour as I got in my car. Same one, fixed, after work. 2 scruffy looking guys came up running to me and one said, "Hey brother, we missed our bus." He wanted to know if I could give the 2 of them a ride. This was not the best part of town, and I wouldn't have been inclined to let them in. But I remembered what that good Samaritan had told me. Pay it forward. "Okay," I said, "hop in." We drove onto the freeway, and I made all my usual turns heading home. It was the same way my 2 passengers wanted to go. After a while, we got to an exit where they asked to be let off. It was the same exact spot in a city of millions of people where that other guy had unhitched my car from his truck and told me to do something nice for someone else. Case on file 1268. One act of kindness can ripple through time. A test. A repeat of the Lady of the Lake mythos. It washes into many instances of our life. I don't know if this test produced some reward for you in the future, but then that isn't meant to be known. Because we aren't supposed to be good to each other for something, but to be good for each other in of itself is a reward. Because if we all act that way, then the world becomes an amazing place to live in. Can you think of a better reward than that? I can't. If everyone acted to help each other, and to be honest and kind, and that'd be a beautiful place. There's always those rotten apples that take advantage of that. It does become hard, but basically, to have the best life you can, the best society, you have to have high trust. High trust societies, like in Japan, they have shops where there's no one that attends it. They just have prices and a basket to put money in, and people just pay out of the honor system. I mean, maybe there's some places you can do that in the US, but I guess they'd be more rural. Something about a large congregation of people, like in cities. In most cities, it doesn't work well with humans. The trust factor drops so much, and I guess there's just so many chances of someone being a rotten character that you guard yourself against that. It's a shame. Creepy file number 115, written by TheGoddessHylia, The Bone-Chilling Bathroom Scream. I was about 7 or 8, and I was at a housewarming party at my aunt's and uncle's new house. It wasn't extravagant. It was a lower to middle class mobile home in South Carolina. It wasn't really a big party, just a family, some barbecue out back, red Solo cups, all boxes in the garage and not even distributed to their proper rooms. The only things that were unpacked, and where they should be, was the furniture. So anyway, 2 of my cousins were there, and one of them had a friend over, and we were all playing together. Some made-up fantasy game where we were pretending to be princesses or something. All of the adults were out back drinking, and I emphasize, there were only 4 people inside the house. Me, my 2 cousins, and the friend. The house was set up in such a way that the kitchen was the first room you walked into from the front door. Then there was a living room. Then past that was the hallway with the bathroom and bedrooms. I was in the living room on the couch because that was the princess's bedroom. And I was kinda just sitting there idle while the others got snacks. With no warnings or no other sounds, every single one of us hears a female voice let out an ear-piercing, gut-wrenching, overall horrifying scream in the bathroom. It was clear as day, and it was so loud and sudden that it made me jump, as the living room was right next to the hallway. My cousins and their friend run out from the kitchen and look at me sitting there, and then we all run from the living room into the bathroom. Not a single person is in there, and nothing is displaced because there wasn't anything unpacked anyway, except the toilet paper. We turned back around to see about 3 adults coming in from the back door, because they had heard it too, coming from inside, so it wasn't any of them. What gets me about this is this. We have all since entertained the idea that it was a prank no one has fessed up to yet. In order for it to have been a corporeal being, they would have had to somehow get into the bathroom without me seeing them from the couch, screamed, ran out of the bathroom to either the back door, without any of the 4 kids in the living room seeing, or out of a window in one of the bedrooms. All of the bedroom windows were locked from the inside, so if they escaped that way, someone would have had to lock it and go out the back door, which again, we would have seen. One of the creepiest things that's happened to me. And before you cry, speaker hidden somewhere. That was one of the first things my uncle checked for when he ran inside and was told by us that none of us had done it. Me and my cousins think it's either something supernatural or something that the adults did, and all of the adults that were there think that one of us screamed and lied about it because we were all in the bathroom when they came in. Either way, the mood at the party was killed really fast after that. Everyone was confused and a little on edge, and there wasn't any of that self-satisfied undertone that someone who just played a really good practical joke would have been showing. It was a pretty blood-curdling sound. I'm not sure a human could even make it. Case notes for the creepy file number 115, The Bone-Chilling Bathroom Scream. My first instinct is thinking about banshees, but these are meant to appear when death claimed a soul recently, usually within the family circle. But then consider that note. This is a mobile home, elevated on platforms presumably surrounded by woods of South Carolina. So could it have been the mating call of an animal that had snuck under the bathroom floor, and after releasing the screech, scurried off back into the woods? I guess that's probably the most likely explanation. Apparently foxes and some other animals make a really weird female screaming sound as a mating call. The wild is very weird. And now time for the quote of the day. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Yeah, be yourself, your odd, quirky version of sentience. And if other people don't like it, well, they don't matter anyways. Why do you care about their opinion? Now, if it's family or friends, maybe listen, but not through judgment, just critique. People have interventions and stuff for really bad things that are going on. But generally speaking, if you're a bit odd, that's okay. Like for me, I am a night owl. I literally sleep at like 6 or 7 a.m. all the time, just by default, not because I have to get up for work or anything. Most people think that's weird. Okay. I have light sensitivity, so I can't be... I'm basically a vampire. I made a joke about that before, but yeah. I'm basically a vampire who doesn't have to feed on humans, so that part, the last part, is pretty good and important to note, so any hunters out there, you can go hunt something else. Short of being an actual monster, be yourself. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.